Zongzi Festival or Duanwu Festival is fall on the 5th day of the 5th month of the Chinese calendar very soon. And this time, definitely, I want to make my own Chinese style rice dumpling myself. I know that my mother-in-law is an expert, so I visited her a few days ago, tapping into her experience and expertise of making zongzi. And with her blessing, in this video, I will reveal her secret recipe written in a small little notebook with half-faded ink many years ago. I'm KB Kwan, thanks for joining me. Pork is the essential ingredient to make rice dumpling. Normally, we choose pork belly, but in my case, I choose other part of pork, but it doesn't matter. The important thing is always include some fat in it. It makes the dumpling much more juicy and tender. Cut the pork into smaller pieces like this. When you finish cutting it, put it into a bowl. First, we have some fine spice powder, salt, quite a lot of salt, but don't worry about that because we are going to cook the rice dumpling in water for 5 to 6 hours, and part of the salt will eventually be absorbed by the glutinous rice surrounding it. So usually it is advisable to put a little bit of extra salt for marinating. And then we have sugar, some white pepper, about a quarter teaspoon, some Chinese Shaoxing wine. We've all mixed together and marinate it overnight. Right. As for the dry ingredients, we have to rehydrate it. Add water to the dry shrimps, the dry oysters, and the dry Chinese mushroom. Let all these ingredients rehydrate for 1 or 2 hours or until it becomes tender and soft. We have soaked it in water for a few hours and drain. The first one, this is the dry shrimp. We don't really have to do much about it because it's quite small. As for the dry oysters, it is a little bit big, so I decided to cut it into smaller pieces. And each piece, we will put one of each piece into one dumpling. Mushroom that has been soaked, fully rehydrated. You need to cut off the stem. You don't want to use the stem. Then we cut the mushroom cap into strips. This glutinous rice has been washed with water for a few times and then drained. We add some salt into it, sugar, tablespoon of vegetable oil, and some soy sauce. Mix together. Leave it aside to be used later to wrap the dumpling. The treatment of mung bean is quite similar to glutinous rice. This mung bean has been washed and drained. We add some salt, sugar, and some vegetable oil. The one thing I have to remind you is, when you buy mung bean, buy the one that the outer layer has been removed, which is this one. This is a dry mung bean that the outer skin has not been removed. So please don't buy this one, because you have to soak this one overnight and remove the outer layer. It is very messy. Nearly everyone who wants to make rice dumpling use the one that the outer layer has been removed. These are the salted egg yolks. It's quite big, so I've decided to cut it into small pieces. And each small piece will be used for one dumpling, certainly. Lastly, we have the chestnuts. These chestnuts have been soaked in water and drained. If you find that the chestnuts are a bit too big, you can cut them into half. Now I want to show you an optional step, but an important step. That is to stir fry 4 ingredients before you use it to wrap the dumpling. Stir fry briefly the dry oysters. And stir fry the dry shrimp too. And as for the glutinous rice, we stir fry for a while too, and a bit of oil. Pour inside. And lastly, the mung beans.